I've said it before and I will say it again. Distrokid is an amazing platform for releasing your music. For just $19.99 US per month, you can upload unlimited tracks and release them to Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music, and iTunes, plus hundreds of others. However, there are some limitations with the musician account, which is a $19.99 account, such as you can only have one artist, you can't set your prices, you can't set release dates, and you don't get a whole lot of detailed stats. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be upgrading my account to the Musician Plus here in DistroKid. So if you've been interested in DistroKid or interested in upgrading your account, hang around in this video and let's check out what features we have available together. Let's go. Hi, my name is Pete. This is Studio Live today, where I help you create, record, and release your best music. And obviously, we're talking about releasing today because we're here in DistroKid again. Now, if you're not familiar with DistroKid, I did a deep dive video, which I will link up and down. Check that one out first. I go through the musician account. And what I'm doing today is I'm going to upgrade my account to Musician Plus. So I'll sign into DistroKid here and we'll upgrade my account, and then I'll take you through the features that we now have available over and above the standard musician account. Okay, so here we are back in our familiar layout here for DistroKid. Now, what I'm going to be doing today is tapping on the upgrade button. Now, the reason that I'm doing this mainly is that I'm about to release a new album, and you can't set your own pricing with the musician level of account here, this one here. But the Musician Plus, we do have things like daily sales stats, customizable label name, customizable release date, pre-order, iTunes pricing, and we can have 2 artists or bands. So I don't actually have 2 artists that I'm going to use, but maybe I'll do that at some point. Maybe I'll release some of my old bands material here under my second account. But for now, I'm going to continue here and upgrade my account to the Musician Plus account, which is going from $19.99 to $35.99 per year. Now, I'll leave things here while I go ahead and jump in and put in my credit card number, because I'm not going to record this part, and then we'll come back once I've upgraded and we'll show you around what we have available. Okay, so that part is done. Now, it did say $35.99 per year, and I did read somewhere that it's going to pro rata that amount because I've already paid $19.99 per year, so I'm assuming that it will not charge me the full amount. So I'll check in on that, and I'll let you know at a later stage if I need to follow up on that, but I'll assume that it's all good for now. So let's click on Start Now, because apparently I've made a great decision, and we'll jump into it. The one thing that I did notice there is it didn't really differentiate from me buying a new account versus upgrading. So it wasn't the best experience in terms of that, but we'll give them a little bit of a break because I do like the simple interface, and obviously the simplicity is a good thing over having all those different options that might have been in there. Anyway, here is our screen. This is all looking very familiar, but what I'm most interested in is if I go to the upload, let's see what additional options I now have now that I've updated my account. So what I should see here is that I have the ability to set pre-release dates, to change amounts, and all of the other goodness that we had before. So let's scroll down here through all of the things that we have here, and yeah, here we go. So the artist band name I can obviously change to add to my second name if I wanted to do that, if I've got my second account ready to go. My record label, let's not skip ahead. The release date, I can actually tell it which date I would like this to actually be released in the future, which is very cool. Pre-order, I can actually say yes, let people pre-order it through iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon before the release date. I can change my record label to be whatever I want. And what did I say the other day? Let's make it Studio Live Today Records. That'd be cool. And then my image is all the same there. All of the language settings are the same. The track settings are the same. Track price. So, okay, so we've only got 69 cents, 99 cents, or $1.29. So what about for an album? So the album I'm looking to release is going to be 12 songs. What options do I get here? Okay, that's cool. So we can price it anywhere from 5.99 all the way up to 14.99, which is cool. So if I wanted to, which I probably will, price it at 5.99, which will end up being about the $10 Australian that I was hoping for, then I can actually do that. And that means that if people want to buy my album, they're not spending nearly $20 to do so, which is what I wanted to do. Everything else here looks pretty much the same. This is cool. So we can change the track price as well for each individual track of the album if people wanted to buy just particular tracks. And yeah, that's all very cool. So yeah, it's a pretty simple sort of upgrade. It's just added in those additional features that before it said, no, you've got to upgrade before you get those features. But I'm pretty happy with that. I'm looking forward to that. And I've got a single actually that I'm going to release before the album. So in the next couple of days, I'll release a single. I might even come back and do another quick video just showing the upload of that single with the custom pricing and maybe even do a pre-order for a day or two just for fun. Okay, let's continue on. The other thing that is the main difference here. Well, yes, we'll leave the site because I haven't actually done anything with it. We'll go over here to the stats and take a look at what additional stats that I now have access to with my upgraded account. Okay, so this is looking a little bit cool. So we've got the Spotify for artists here. So we've got the number of streams and all of my albums and tracks here. So I can see that in the last 365 days, I've had 661 streams. So I'm getting about 2 streams per day, which is okay. As I mentioned in previous videos, my releasing my music is really just to make sure it's out there and that people can get access to it. It's not really about becoming the next big rock star or anything. So got a nice cool graph down here showing our daily numbers that we can scroll through, and I can see, oh, for some reason everyone liked me back on the 3rd of April. I think I released a song, yeah, around about the 1st of April. So it'll be interesting to go back and look at when I've released songs and where these actually show up. Don't know what I just pressed there. Oh, cool. I can zoom in on particular sections and see how things are going. That's all cool. So this is the Spotify, and yep. So if I've got different artists there, yep. So if I have a second artist, I can actually do that. So that's streams, and that's daily stats, and that's Spotify for artists. What else have we got here? Downloads. Let's go downloads, all albums and tracks, and display, and take a look at this. We'll just wait for a little ball to spin. I must admit, DistroKid's been a little bit slow the last few days I've been using it. Not a major issue, but yeah, it hasn't been as responsive. But again, yeah, I'm not using it a whole heap, and it's still doing the job. So here's my daily stats of my sales. So we've got iTunes and Amazon estimates. So the number of units sold, 17 all-time sales. Yes, that's pretty cool. Greatest hits, most recent sales. So it's got the name of the track and the sale date that it was actually sold or purchased. And then I can look at my weekly, my monthly stats, and then my daily, which looks a little bit, yeah, not quite as awesome. Now, so that's all the downloads. Now I think I'll go back to my streams because I think I misinterpreted this. I don't think this was just Spotify. I think this is all platforms. It just has the Spotify for artists little thing up the top there. So Spotify for artists helps artists get the most out of it, get instant access. So that's just like an ad. Okay, sorry. So that's Spotify estimates, which we can do here and get access. I'll have a look at that in a minute. But I'm thinking that this is actually all of my streams across all of the different platforms, which, yeah, is interesting. Now, where I'm wondering how I get the other stats that I used to be able to get that sort of showed the amounts and all that excruciating detail and things that I used to have, because doesn't seem to actually be in here. So I might have to dig around a little bit to see how I can get those numbers again. Hopefully they haven't disappeared with this new view. But yeah, at this stage it doesn't look like it's here. All right, let's click on this get access to Spotify for artists and see what exactly this does because it's a little bit intriguing. Okay, so it's going to take me over to Spotify. Okay, so I will do this again. Let's log in to my Spotify account, and again, you can look away while I do this. Okay, so Spotify just asked me to connect my account and just confirm my details, and now it has popped me in here where it's giving me an overview of my last 7 days, and this is just Spotify, so it's showing my track up, my sort of profile picture up there, and then I'm assuming I can go through and have a look here. We've got home, we've got audience, so we can look at listeners and streams and followers. So yeah, let's actually, if we go back, 660 streams since 2015 is just in Spotify. So I'm checking that because I wanted to verify, and yeah, it looks like that those are, I don't know, yeah, it may be that these are just all my Spotify. So those 660, was that the total amount we had in DistroKid? We'll check that out anyway. This wasn't the intention to go through and look at all of this, but it's pretty cool that we can connect here to Spotify, and Spotify for Artists looks like it's pretty cool as well. Maybe I'll come back and explore this again one day, but for now, let's jump back over to DistroKid and keep checking out the stats over there. Okay, so I realized why I got very confused before, and that is because I was looking at this new stats tab thinking it was the bank tab. So I still have the bank tab, which is the one I used to have where I could check my actual payments and royalties, but the stats is a new one. Now, it is saying Spotify estimates here, so I'm assuming that all of these numbers here are our Spotify, which comes from our Spotify for artists, because I matched up this one here, last 7 days 13, which was when I went into Spotify for artists. That was also 13. So I'm assuming that these ones down here are my everything else, maybe, although that equals 13 as well. So I'm still a little bit confused as to whether these numbers are just Spotify streams or whether they are all of my streams. I'm going to have to do a little bit more reading and digging. So apologies. I assumed it would be all of my streams. It's looking more like it might just be Spotify streams here. And because there's no real way to validate it, I'm not 100% sure. So when I come back to this again in a future video, I'll take a look at that. But yeah, so the other options that we have here is we can select just a particular album or single to display. So we can see how that's tracking, and it'll update here. We'll just wait for that to come along. And yeah, so yeah, repopulate. So it's pretty cool. Funnily enough, it gives you 365 days worth here, but the graph only goes back to the start of the year. So I'm not sure if that's like a rolling well, it doesn't look like a rolling amount at all. Maybe it's just the current year, which is a little bit strange. But yeah, so I'm not completely sold on the stats. But again, I didn't really do this for the stats. I did it more for the other options and the ability to upgrade and change some of those pricing and other options that we had there. So that is about going to do it. Let's just jump in and check out the bank. I don't think this is going to have changed in any real way. So we'll take a look here and see. And yeah, so same sort of thing that we had here before. We've got the breakdown by store of our total earnings here. Yep, that's all exactly the same. And then we can show our tiny fractions there. We can show the excruciating detail as well, which will take us in and show us all of those little bits and pieces. So that's gonna do it here for today. Now, would I recommend this? Well, for me, the ability to actually have my own name as a record label, not just DK Records, to actually upload, to have two different artists. So eventually, if I want to have a second artist that I'm using on the same account, will be very cool. But for me, the actual pricing for iTunes is very cool, and the ability to change the date that we actually release to in iTunes is very cool as well. So there's some things that I will actually be using in the future. As far as the stats go, I'm a little confused by that, so apologies. I was hoping that would be more straightforward. So if you just want really detailed stats and want to know, store by store how many streams you're getting, it doesn't look like that's going to be available here. It looks like Spotify has those stats, but the other platforms don't necessarily. But that's all good. Okay, so welcome to the I should have read this before I did that section of the video where I look at the articles and find out what I didn't actually know before. So I asked the question, do I have to pay the full amount? Should I get a prorated amount? And what I've worked out is that only within the first year, if you upgrade, do you get that prorated amount. If you do it outside of the first year, like I did, you pay the full amount. So what I've basically meant is that I've had 3 months worth of that old one that I paid $19.99 for, and now I've paid $35.99 for 12 months from now. So I'm a little bit out of pocket there. So the I guess learning there is if you are going to upgrade, do it within the first year or do it right on your anniversary, not 3 months into your new plan like this guy. The other thing that I wanted to point out here is that can I downgrade to a lower Distrokid plan? So short answer is no. If you do that, you have to cancel, which will delete all your albums. Then you have to re-sign up with the musician plan. So I guess I wanted to add on this little addendum as a caveat to others. I'm comfortable with this because I did want to upgrade to the Musician Plus account. And you know what? $35.99 per year is still a ridiculously good price for being able to release unlimited music. And I plan to release a lot of music in the future. So that is all cool, but I wanted to make sure that anyone else considering doing this has read the FAQs, unlike me. So hopefully I'm saving you some pain if you were going to go through and do this and then change your mind and go, oh, actually, no. Yeah, if you've already got some albums released, I'd suggest staying on the lower plan until you are 100% certain that you are going to upgrade. Anyway, I just wanted to throw this extra bit in here. Now back to our regular programming. I hope you found this useful and weren't too confused by me jumping around. And if you've got comments, questions, or suggestions, you can leave those down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this gave you some insights into upgrading here in Distrokid. If you'd like to check out some more videos about distributing your music, you can check those out down below. You can also click on the Studio Live Today icon to subscribe to the channel, or head over to studiolivetoday.com for more audio goodness.